In conjunction with the forwarder quote request activities explained in Pro Forma Demo number 2, the seller is queried to provide further details relating to the prospective shipment. An online meeting is scheduled between HCB and the seller to go over a questionnaire that's provided by HCB. This online meeting also affords the opportunity for shipment and pro forma discussion between the seller and HCB. We briefly point out how the highlights of this are organized. The questionnaire heading reflects much of the basic information input into the Pro Forma Maker. This serves as a reference to the reviewer. A list of commonly required documents the buyer will need to clear destination customs or support the proposed transaction are listed. The documents checked here appear on the Pro Forma invoice, giving the prospective buyer confidence important details of this nature will be addressed. Pre-shipment inspections may be required by the destination country or buyer. If this is a required provision, the highlighted details will appear on the Pro Forma. This gives the prospective buyer added assurance this requirement will be addressed. Special handling of cargo may be required. The prospective buyer needs assurance the cargo will be packaged and shipped in such a way that there likely will not be damage of the items being shipped. To cover the seller, certain risks of quoting need to be mentioned in a transparent fashion. As there is a gap between the time the pro forma is issued and the shipment actually takes place, uncertainties can arise. Depending upon the Incoterms of delivery offered by the seller, greater risk occurs as the seller takes on more of the shipping responsibilities. There is a large disparity of risk the seller takes quoting DDP versus X works, which are the two extremes. Conversations with the prospective buyer may reveal a preference to ship via a particular mode, on a particular shipping line, or to a designated port, which may differ from what the seller may logically choose. If applicable, points concerning the shipping mode are addressed here. In situations where a letter of credit is called for, the buyer's application information can be expedited by including communications between the seller and buyer relating to the specifics of what each party agrees should be in the letter of credit. The Pro Forma invoice can be a forerunner to or complement the sales contract between the buyer and seller. Significant clauses that both buyer and seller may require can be considered for inclusion as part of the Pro Forma invoice. The eventual customs valuation, which will reflect the duty and taxes the buyer may have to pay the destination customs, may need to be listed on the commercial invoice, even though some may be factored into the cost. Some items may add to the customs value, others may qualify as a deduction. The last two pertinent matters that could be included on the Pro Forma invoice are product drawings and marine insurance. Certain products require the mutual approval of the buyer and seller before production can take place. The details of what the drawings need to cover would be communicated separately between the buyer and seller. Depending upon the Incoterms of sale, the seller may be responsible to take out marine insurance coverage. What amount would be insured and under what type of policy can be addressed here. The minimum requirements of the Incoterms being employed may not be sufficient for the buyer. A modification by the seller can be confirmed here, or the buyer may consider purchasing contingency coverage. This concludes Pro Forma Maker demonstration number 3.